Shut up, listen up, everybody, what up? Gonna put it in a podcast, boost, what's up? We talk, we laugh, we sing, we dance, we'll do anything if you give us a chance. We'll play one time, it'll help us out. All truth, no lies, no, it's never a doubt. If you like rants, tirades, and honest opinions, we shoot from the hip and we hear with precision. Give us one chance to play Opinion Bros podcast.
Hello.
Is it working now?
Yeah, it's recording now. Alex isn't connected. I just sent him another link. But I guess we can just start going. He can join when he joins, if he joins. But I go from here.
All right. Well, then I guess we should normally start with, hey guys, and welcome back to a whole new episode of Los Pina Bros podcast. This is the first time we're doing it via. Well, we're not even in the same room together. I'm Armando, one of your hosts, and
I'm your host. Well, all of us are the hosts.
I said, well, one of your hosts.
Oh, one of your hosts. Yeah, the audio is not that. We're gonna get that fixed.
We always say we're gonna get that fixed.
Yeah, well, our budget is pretty much zero, so you know what? We have like $3 in the fund right now.
It's a jar. We're putting money in there.
Yeah. But yeah, we're recording from our own homes. We're recording through the phone. So yeah, we're not with each other. So yeah, pardon our technical difficulties. But yeah, we just wanted
to sorry guys that our sound sucks. Just sorry all around. It's always like we're always apologizing. We're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna get it fixed.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's better to come out with one episode that's kind of crummy than no episode at all. So yeah. I mean, I don't know, but it's fine. You know, it's okay.
Our last episode was we had talked about like Black Panther and Black Adam and what was gonna happen with Henry Cavill, and like all this news started happening, and it's like maybe we should just wait a while to see what happens, because all this stuff was going on with like DC, and like right now it's the end of January and we got the Oscars stuff coming up. We have all whole new movies coming up. We might have some DC stuff coming up. But we found out one of our answers though that Henry Cavill will not be coming back as Superman.
You know, the way they worded it, like I can't read it off right now, but the way they worded it is that they don't want him in it right now. So at least that's the way I interpreted it. Was like, look, we're going
without you.
What's that?
Without you.
Yeah. But like that doesn't mean that he won't be there. You know, that the first thought that came to my head was, yeah, they're gonna show a younger version of Superman, but that's not to say this is like a flashback from an older Superman's life, and that older one is Henry Cavill.
So basically like a Spider-Man no Way Home thing.
I mean, not necessarily, but you know, like it's something like like Edward, and when what's her name is telling the story. Yeah, when she's telling the story that she once met the guy that lived in that, you know, mansion on that hill. Like, we won't see him as older, but it's just like these are the stories leading up, and then at the end of the third one or something, it's him telling a story to, I don't know, his grandkids or something like that, and it's Henry Cavill. But you know, I don't know. That was just the first thought that came to my head. Whether it makes sense or not, or you know, it's far-fetched, whatever. But you know, I mean, the biggest thing I think is just it does suck for him because he was playing Superman and he didn't really have that like shining moment. So
He
yeah,
wasn't
that
the
sucks.
Superman that everybody wanted. Like he was trying to get to that point,
Yeah.
and we kind of got glimpses of that in like Justice League, and then you saw him in Black Adam, and you're like, oh, he's wearing the suit, and it's bright, and he's nice, and oh, they're playing John Williams, and no,
The
it,
biggest tease, like, jeez.
everybody got so hard, and then
Yeah.
like, oh man, it just
Oh,
left them, gave them cinematic blue balls. All right,
oh, my balls. Yeah.
this is a clean family podcast, okay? Remember, no, but no. Do you think when it's so bad? It's so bad because I remember when I was listening to this podcast where Henry Cavill was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited! I can't wait to have that meeting with James Gunn." And then you think he just went over there and James Gunn is like, "Hey, Henry, sit down. Here's a Superman chair you can sit on. So we're gonna make another Superman movie." He's like, "Yes." He's gonna be in a classic outfit. Yes. And guess what? What? You're not in it. Oh,
Oh,
but
oh, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they did say like what you said that there might be a way to bring him back in something. And the fact that everything is a multiverse now,
yeah.
there's I mean, Brandon Routh came back after being nerfed after Superman Returns. And so like he got to have a shining little moment in that Crisis on Infinite Earths TV special or whatever. So, I they should do a No Way Home thing later on. I'm sad that he's not going to be our Superman. Um, but I mean, as long as they do a good story and there's cool, I don't know, as long as they just do a good story, a Superman that can both be happy and intense,
Yeah.
you know, and that they don't like pass him by because he should be the shining, star of the DC universe. He's like the Captain America or the Iron Man of that universe of DC. So,
See,
but
you saying that, like, I had seen a couple things on Reddit, um, where someone was like, I really hope that more closely, where he's more closer to the bumbling, like, kind of fool, from the, the Richard Donner movies,
yeah,
and where he's cheesy and campy, and
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I don't want that. I don't need Superman to be cheesy, like, yeah, he can have a little, like, funny moment, but I don't need him to be like, "Bum, bum, bum," I just
Like he
need,
doesn't have to bumble all the time. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Lane. No,
yeah, I don't need that. Like, people said that he didn't get, like, to play Clark that well or whatever. In Batman versus Superman, I felt that he did in some parts. Of course, he didn't get a lot of moments, but, like, one
in
of
the
the,
ultimate cut, he
yes,
has more Clark time.
okay, because, yeah, I don't remember the original cut, but yeah, in the director's cut or ultimate cut, he is specifically told by Perry to do something else that's lame, like sports or something. But
Like a fluff piece or something.
yeah, but he goes out of his way to investigate, like, Batman and what's going on with this and that, and he follows up with the lady, and he's concerned, and rightfully so, because he senses that there's something wrong, and him as Superman has the ability to fix this, to watch over these people. And I like that. I appreciated that. He's not the, oh, well, let me push up my glasses and oh, sorry about that. Like, and that's fine, but that's the charm of those movies. I
Yeah,
don't need, a replay of those in another movie. Like, I really don't. And that's the other thing is, I like, I used to very much dislike Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, but I got to the point where, these are different interpretations, and whether you disagree with them or not, they're just different interpretations. So I'm excited for a different interpretation, but that more, I guess, is in line with his general character, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, like an update. I mean, I think we've been so far removed. I mean, and by the way, folks, we're probably gonna do what we're excited for this 2023 year, but I figure we just talk about the Superman stuff right now. But yeah, like I think we're so far removed from that bumbling Clark aesthetic that it's like I don't mind if he goes, oh hi Miss Lane, and is a little nerdy. I don't mind that, but yeah, but to the point where he's like, oh, I forgot, I stepped on my tuna fish sandwich, I gotta go change my shoes, or like making stupid excuses. Like there's been so much more media after that. Like we had 10 years of Smallville, and he wasn't like that.
Yeah.
um
Yep.
and even Brandon Routh's interpretation of it, he was nerdy, and he was very polite, but I don't think he was as bumbling as like Christopher Reeves, and yeah, like the Lois and Clark one. um Even though I don't like Dean Cain for political stuff or whatever, um I like his Superman and his Clark, and Clark is the real like he's just a cool like guy from the 90s who's just like he's a little flirty with Lois, even though Lois wants nothing to do with him. um and like he's not a big goofball, and you can have some goofiness, sure, but like, and the fact that I guess James Gunn is writing the new Superman movie, there's gonna be like there'll be comedic beats in there, but it'll be more situational than like, oh ha ha, yeah, like, you know but
See, and I mean, the way I think about it too, I just made the comparison in my head. Uh, Truly wanted to watch Spider-Man: Homecoming yesterday, and I remember watching it and thinking like, this is the third time we've gotten a Spider-Man on screen, um, and the way they updated him, like, growing up, Peter Parker was always the nerd. He's such
yeah,
a loser. He dresses a certain way with the broken like glasses and
in the
sweater
sweater vest.
vests. Yeah. So, but then so that's why I had gotten so upset with Andrew Garfield Spider Man, because he wasn't lame at all. He was a cool guy.
He was already
But
sexy. He was
yeah,
already a sexy.
he's better looking than everybody else. Like,
Yeah,
but
it's like, God damn you, I
yeah.
wish I looked like you.
Yeah, but the thing that's interesting is I've come around on that, and you know what, that makes sense for that time. Like, again, he's not popular,
Yeah,
and you don't have to be a nerd to be, like, people are still gonna, he's a loser or whatever, but
he's a loner.
uh, yeah, he's a loner, and he is like kind of uncool in a way. And same thing with Homecoming, is that they're like two nerds that get excited about building the Death Star Lego set. um
Yeah,
but again, he's not like a bumbling nerdy, like, well, pi equals blah 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 blah, and you know what, that kind of stuff makes sense. um but to keep little things in there, like, that he gets so excited, hey, that Star Wars movie about this and that, and so it makes sense. That's how I want the Superman movie to follow. He
yeah.
doesn't have to be super nerdy and bumbling, um but he has to have that charm, and I don't know, that feeling of hope. um
As long as that comes out 100%, he has to show hope, because that's what he is. That like the symbol.
yeah. Well,
And yeah, you're right. Like in those Spider-Man movies, like Tobey Maguire played the more like nerdy, like broken glasses type Peter Parker. Like, oh, the circumference of that. So,
yeah,
like
no
he was always,
ma'am, and this and that, and yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, I'll eat the banana bread, Aunt May. And
Yeah.
then and then Andrew Garfield was like the angsty loner. But that's how like everything, like Raimi's movies were more based off the 60s. and then you got like the web movies with Andrew Garfield, and those were like post Batman Begins, so movies were darker. Because I remember those movies were mostly like at night too. Like he was hardly ever in the day, and that was a little darker, a little more angsty, loner type Spider-Man, which is like the ultimate type. And then you get the Peter Parker by Tom Holland, and his is more updated. We're now in a place where fandom is more celebrated. It's more like accepted, which is weird because like back when we were kids, if we were like, "Oh, I like comic books," it's like, just you guys still read comic books? But now everybody's like, "Did you see WandaVision?" And oh my god, that tag at the end, like everyone's a nerd now. Like you can come out of the nerd closet, and you know, like it's
now
more,
you're almost persecuted for how much of a nerd you are. Like, oh, you only watch those movies? Like, you're not a true nerd.
You don't get to do like watch the tie-in comic book that they sell like every 6 months or whatever. Or you don't follow the what do you call them? Those online like expanded universe like Lost, you know, webisodes or whatever. So yeah. So I mean, but yeah. So and I know they said that this Superman's gonna be a younger Superman, which I'm like, I don't know what that means exactly. Well, I guess we don't know. James Gunn, it's what's today? January 24th or 25th or something?
26, 27.
He had promised everybody, well, because he's been like online very vocal, and people have been giving him shit, like the Henry Cavill fans, like, you feel stupid, you don't like Henry Cavill. I'm like, look, I'm sad about it too, but James Gunn has proven himself as, you know, an auteur or whatever. So and he's a big comic book fan, and like Peacemaker was one of the best comic book shows we got last year, and so he can do fun, he can do lighthearted, he can do dark, and he's supposed to tell us, you know, not that he has to, but he said he was going to say by the end of January he was supposed to give the first few chapters of the new updated DC universe. So, and he said that, I know he's writing Superman, and it's a younger Superman. Do you think it's going to be like Superboy, or do you think it's going to be, because I would not want to watch Superboy. No, like, offense to that version of the character, but I like that I like what Smallville did, where it's like he was the red blue blur. He didn't have like a costume until he was Superman, when he came out to Metropolis or whatever. So I don't mind if it's a younger Superman, like year 2 Superman, kind of like the Batman, I guess. But I wouldn't want to see I don't want to see a teenage Superman. For sure, I would not want to watch.
Yeah, you know, you saying that, just I guess it never really occurred to me. I just took it like at face value, like a younger Superman. But yeah, now I'm thinking like, how much younger is he even gonna be in Metropolis, or is it gonna be, oh, this is a Smallville type of event, you know, and it's just him like just learning his powers. That I really I don't want to see that. um I already want him kind of to be established in Metropolis. um so yeah, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I think that I would want him to be like, he already came out, he already, like, they know him as Superman, but maybe they still don't know that he's an alien, or like, you know, they maybe don't know much about him still. But enough to be like, oh, you know, this is Metropolis, home of, you know, the Man of Steel or whatever. And I just hope, what I would love to see that I feel they don't really do is, and they kind of did it back in the 90s with Lois and Clark. I want to see that like bullpen, like newspaper type of thing. Like I want to see Clark and Lois going out for the stories, you know, like trying to figure out the conspiracy that is going on, you know, what's Lex Luthor doing, you know, all these they're investigating intergang type of stuff. Like that I want to see that, like the news reporter things, like a political, not thriller in the sense I want it dark, but like, but to have the characters come out in something that not only it's super heroics, but their alter egos are doing important things other than like Lois, getting captured and Superman having to save her.
Right. Yeah,
Because
I do not want to see that. I that's been done to death, I think, and I think it's so easy to go to that. Oh, Lois has been captured. What are you gonna do, Superman? Like, I don't need to see that again.
yeah, I want her in the story. I want her to be like she's an army brat. I want her to kick ass. She can stand toe to toe with the best of them. And I think that's the difference right now between Marvel and DC is all the Marvel characters, all their identities except Spider-Man, I guess, is like everyone knows who Captain America is or and Iron Man. Thor is Thor. But I think the fun thing about DC and is they have the alter egos. They have their alter egos. They act, they're two different people, and you get to
Yeah.
play with those two worlds. But yeah, but all right. Well, do you think when do you think James Gunn's gonna? Do you think he'll say it by like the 30th?
I don't
Like,
know.
hey, this is what we're gonna do.
If I were him, I'd keep holding off.
You keep like, hey, maybe next week.
Yeah. Or, you guys keep asking, I'm going to keep holding off. But like you said, he doesn't owe us anything. Of course, I'd like to know a general, like, roadmap.
Yeah,
Not even like, hey, we're going to do Superman 2, and then, Justice Society, and then Justice League. Like, I don't want that. I guess I just want more of, um, like this is the general direction, or I don't even know what I want, because honestly, like, like, okay, I want to know, are you rebooting everything? But
yeah,
at the same time, I want to be surprised.
hmm
So him revealing that kind of info, I think, would be not beneficial.
yeah.
I had seen this one thing. I don't know if it was a true like comment by Jason Momoa, but he had, at least from what I saw, I think it said something along the lines of, I'm always going to be Aquaman. That's
Oh,
who
I
I
saw that.
am. Um,
Yeah.
and so don't worry or whatever. So I don't know what that means. Like, how are you going to recast Henry but not Jason? Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna trust it. Um, and I think, knowing James Gunn, that okay, yeah, Henry might not be Superman, uh, but he is not going to. He's going to do some sort of fan service
Yeah.
to show Henry that support. To
Yeah.
show that he's appreciated or something. I don't know. Maybe he'll be Zod. I don't know.
Oh God.
He's good at snapping necks, no? So
Whoa. Yeah.
sorry,
That'd be
Henry.
messed.
No.
Yeah. He's like he'd be such a class act. He'd be like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Want to play Warhammer?
Yeah. There you go. I'm here. Yeah, he's happy. He's gonna do his Warhammer stuff. I told Chris Coley to start giving me his Warhammer books
Uh-huh.
just so I could start reading and like know what the hell that stuff is about. Because him and um, work Alex are always talking about Warhammer, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't give a crap about that stuff, but Henry Cavill's gonna do it, so I want to know what it's about. So, uh, but we'll see. Yeah, you're right. Like that, I saw the Jason Momoa thing because everybody was saying that he might get rebooted into Lobo. Like I mean, because it's a living embodiment of Lobo. And Lobo is basically this DC character who is basically a pale version of Jason Momoa with red eyes that flies in space on a motorcycle, killing people, killing bad guys. He's a bounty hunter. And so I'm like, yeah, Jason Momoa is Lobo, like that. Like he was born for Lobo. So I don't know. Maybe he can play two characters. Who knows? I hope they
And
at this point they also have to replace Ezra because I don't know how that's gonna work.
look, that
Because
you bringing that up, I'm happy you brought that up, because that's probably the one I feel most strongly about. Is I look, people can kind of right their wrongs. they can make up for things. Okay, but I feel that like what he did, or what they did,
Yeah,
um, it is just not right. And I get that you are trying to make up for it, but
yeah.
you should
They
be
have obviously
recasting.
have mental issues. Yeah,
Yeah, I do not want Ezra as Flash. I do not want them to continue
yeah.
as Flash. And on top of that, like I don't think we're losing anything big. We haven't seen the Flash movie. I mean, it hasn't come out
Yeah.
yet, but the portrayal in the movies, although funny, was not something that I'm going to miss. Like, if anything, the one in the Flash TV show, I think played a better Flash.
Yeah,
Um,
Grant Gustin's good. He's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
Flash. He seems to be a good person all around.
yeah.
Um,
So
I mean, the show sucked the last few years, but to the point where I can't even watch it anymore. Like I stopped. I think after like season 5, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I like the characters, but it just they got stuck running in place, and I'm like, ugh. And I can't. I'll watch this last season because it's the last season, and it's basically the end of the Arrowverse.
yeah,
Um, and I know Green Arrow's coming back, and I love Green Arrow. Stephen Amell. So I'm excited because basically the whole Berlanti DC TV universe is ending because they canceled everything. Like everything got canceled.
yeah,
Batwoman, Arrow. Well, Arrow had its own like they went out on their own terms. Stargirl ended, um, and Flash. They canceled my Legends of Tomorrow. So and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'll never get that resolved, which hurts.
oof,
But you know, but Flash has its final series run. So we'll see how that goes. And I guess still speaking of DC, you never watched the Titans show or the Doom Patrol, have you?
right. No, I have not. Not really.
Well, they just announced that those got canceled.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody's like, "God damn you, James Gunn!" He's like, "This happened before me. Like this was already planned. Like everyone's already like after him." But I like Titans. Doom Patrol is actually really well written, and I think out of the two, I think you probably prefer Doom Patrol more. Um, Titans keeps getting better with each season, but like they do stupid things in there, like that whole like fuck Batman, like we're dark and gritty, and it's like all right, and they've kind of moved away from that, which I think is they've gotten better because of it.
Yeah.
But so sad that. But I'm like, we also got 4 seasons of each, which never in a million years would I have thought Doom Patrol would be a TV show because that thing was so weird.
And a hit
Uh,
TV show, from my understanding.
yeah, like it's critically acclaimed, and it's good. And you know, I've enjoyed it. I think more than some of the Marvel shows. Um, but because I don't know what it is with the Marvel. I think because the Marvel shows are still movies, just like longer movies. They're like 10-hour
Yeah.
movies.
Well, let's not get into that. I
Yeah.
was gonna suggest we take a break right now, and then we can come back and talk about
Oh,
what
we're
we're
gonna talk about some
excited.
trailers and then what we're excited for. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back. And we are back. Man, so we just left off talking about DC Marvel stuff that happened recently, some shakeups, some cancellations, some neck snapping, and
Ezra,
um,
we can't go an episode Ezra up. So, but I'm
um,
surprised I brought it up and not Alex.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I sent the invite, but he has not connected yet.
It's
Um,
probably with his muchacha.
hey, we're
Um,
recording.
I'm sorry. All right. But you know what? Around this time last year, the Scream movie came out with
Oh,
Scream 5. And recently the Scream trailer came out for Scream 6. Why don't you tell us, Betin? You were the I think more critical of Scream 5, because you even told that news reporter or that Paramount representative, like, I don't know why you guys made another one.
yeah, go back to your boss and
You
listen
tell
here. Are
from
you
me,
writing this down?
Albert Pina.
um,
But
yeah, I mean, look, the last Scream, I thought, okay, it's good, it's a good movie, but I just feel like some of it is just not there. You know,
yeah,
there are certain parts where I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting concept to be like, oh, what are they called? Requels or something like that. And
yeah,
um
like legacy sequels or whatever.
yeah, so the idea of that is cool. Uh the idea of incorporating toxic fandom is, I
Yes.
think, great. Like, we see that all the time. I mean, we were just talking about it in the before segment, where it's like, you're sometimes people question you, and they're like, well, how much Marvel have you seen? Do you know about, like, the original story of so and so? I knew
Yeah.
him before he came out in the movies. Like,
Yeah.
why can't you just be a fan? So
I
I
mean, you can
love
totally
that.
disagree. You can totally disagree with stuff, but to the point where you're like wishing death on people,
Yeah.
and
Or
not.
yeah, or even that. Yeah, so there's like that toxic between fans, and then that toxicity of our city with with
Yeah. Okay.
with the creators, or people that take over the franchise, like, you ruined it and now I'm gonna hunt you down. Like,
Yeah.
so I love those kinds of ideas because it's real. um
Hmm.
but
It's
I just
topical.
feel, what's that?
It's topical. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
basically what's going outside our window, right?
yeah. But I think as a whole, it still just does not compare to the first. It was this small group of friends, and it was happening, like, in this high school, and there were stakes, and then it started getting a little cartoony, a little, se- sensational,
Yeah.
and at that point, I think I mean, but then they brought it back down a bit and made it more like, okay, this is kind of grim, but I just feel like it's making another one diminishes the story of the original characters. um of course, there are far worse sequels and reboots and remakes. So this one was good. But I just feel like if you're going to make another one, you better be damn sure that it's amazing, and maybe they thought that, I don't know, but that's not my opinion. um but anyways, having that been said, that have um I watched the trailer for the new one, and at first I wasn't excited, but watching it, I'm like, oh, this is I hate it because it got me excited. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. I think, or no, yeah, two reasons. This guy seems a little bit crazier and more lethal using a shotgun.
Oh yeah, in
And
the bodega scene. Yeah.
yeah, and that might be, I don't know if that's just that one scene, and then the rest of the movie he's back to using the knife. But um, the fact that it's in a city. It's not just some abandoned, like, campus with just two people walking around. um
Yeah.
so that's cool. He takes the shotgun. That's cool. I like that he looks different. It's a mask that looks messed up, and
It's all cracked and old looking.
yeah, which makes me think, like, since they introduced the idea of some sort of shrine,
Hmm.
that someone has been collecting all these pieces, and that's what people do. They collect all these pieces from, like, memorabilia, from, oh, that's what happened during this murder, and that's a piece of cloth from that crime scene. So I was
Yeah.
wondering, could that mask be like the original mask that they wore in the first one?
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting. So I like it for all those reasons. And I like it that they brought what's her name back? Um, the
Courtney
blonde
Khan.
girl.
Oh wait.
No, the one from Remember the
Oh,
Titans.
Kirby.
Yeah,
Remember the Titans?
yeah. So I like that they brought her back. I mean, that movie I didn't really care for either, um, but I like that there's a just like one and done forgotten characters. There is a
Yeah,
continuity.
and
So
the
how
fact
about
that so what was the most surprising thing you saw, and what was probably the most exciting thing you're probably?
I mean, not. I think the most exciting is that shrine thing is,
Hmm.
and you know, it's funny because I'm always of the mindset that like I always criticize these movies for like, you know, when you nudge someone's shoulder and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
remember this is a callback to this and this is this,
Hmm.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Get
always
it?
hate
Get
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hate it because it's so easy of material to write, but I think it makes sense in this kind of movie because and maybe they'll play on this, but one of America's obsessions I think is to uh, how do you say it, to idolize,
Sensation.
like to idolize serial killers,
Yeah.
or the crazy anarchist, or the, you know, like that Jeffrey Dahmer net, um you know, he blew up, and from what I saw, you know, on Reddit, it was everywhere, people dressing up their kids for Halloween as Jeffrey Dahmer, and you
Yeah.
know, and it's really like it's really messed up. And you can think like, oh, it's just, you know, it's just this or that, like, well, I mean, people died, you know. It is really disturbing. It's so easy to laugh at stuff now and whatever, but like that was someone's life. So if this movie, if the next Scream plays into that, I hope they do a good job of it, because that is true. People like to idolize and be like, well, I collected this piece from his first kill and this, you know, and so, and they're
Yeah.
really proud to show it. So, you know, I think that's an interesting way to go about things.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think me and Alex, and we showed Natalie Scream 5. Um, so she's already seen three out of the five movies. She saw three, four, and five. But I didn't even tell you that she. So I called her today because she's staying with her mom this week. But she's like, "Oh, I had a dream that I was told, like she was having nightmares of Ghostface, basically." I'm like, "God dang it, I knew it. Like I shouldn't have showed her that movie." But she loves Scream 5 because she started crying after what happens with Dewey. Because she's like, "Why him? He was the best." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like that's someone had to go." And like I think I like Scream 5, but I told Alex when after we finished watching it again, I was like, "Wasn't here? Did we spend very little with like the characters? Like it was also a very fast movie.
Yeah.
Like I think the first one takes place over the course of a couple of days to a week. Same thing with the second one and the third one. This one felt like it was like in 2 days, like it was just a 2 day thing. Like Jenna Ortega gets attacked, and then her sister goes over there, um, and basically it's they fight like that night almost. Um, and we spend enough time with the new characters. Um, we spend time with oh my god, and I'm forgetting her name, Melissa Barrera. She's the older sister to Jenna Ortega. Um, and but I was just like, yeah, like we didn't really spend a lot of time with the characters, but the time that they were on, they were great. Like I liked all the characters, and the fact that we're now focusing on the survivors. Nev Campbell isn't in the sixth one, and I think we have talked about it in the past that it was because they weren't gonna pay her what she thought was appropriate.
Yeah.
Um, which good on her. I mean, obviously she's the face of the franchise. Like it's Sydney, but I'm kind of happy that now we're focusing on the surviving characters, and there's a good amount of surviving characters this time. I like that. You're right. Like it's in a city now. We're out of Woodsboro. We had like 3 movies, I think, that took place in the town. Um, they're pulling Jason Goes to Manhattan, so the fact that they're in New York, even though it's this big city, it feels claustrophobic, especially that scene in the subway where they see all these. There, it looks like it's Halloween, and everybody's dressed in ghost face masks.
Yeah.
And you're right, like the shrine thing. Like me and Alex were talking about this. Are they going to do the cult of the stab movies or the Scream movies? Like, are they? Do you think there'll be multiple bad guys instead of like normally it's like a Sith thing where it's a master and the acolyte or whatever? I'm hoping that there's more than just 2 killers. And I'm hoping that I think we had talked about it because I was listening to some of our old podcasts of like the Scream ones. Like we talked about maybe this one maybe the bad guy like survives into the next movie. Like
Yeah.
it would be interesting if we do that because I was like it's gonna end somehow where they make like oh well spoilers. Find out that Melissa Barrera's character she is the daughter of Billy Loomis, the killer from the first movie. And in this one, they're trying to play that up where she's like, "Oh, I feel the darkness inside of me," and I feel like maybe they're gonna frame her for like the killings, and
Mhm.
she's probably gonna end up like in a mental institution or something. She's gonna have to escape. I don't know, something where there has to be like a twist where it has to go to the next movie. It's not a one and done movie.
Yeah, you saying that just real quick, like, because Scream follows movie conventions. Um,
Yeah,
and what I guess a thing that we haven't seen from them is the cliffhanger ending that leads to the third movie or whatever, like how Empire Strikes Back leads to Return of the Jedi.
or
Um,
Evil Dead 2 to Army of Darkness,
right.
and
Yeah. So we haven't seen that. And yeah, that's possible for this one where it's like, yeah, it's up to us to take out Ghostface. So
and
yeah, I wouldn't be
oh,
upset. I wouldn't be upset. Um, and knowing them, like Scream, I don't think is expensive to make. So, I can easily see them coming out with the Scream the following year. Um,
yeah.
Only if they did that, I wouldn't be upset. If it took more than a year, then come on, like,
Yeah,
don't do that.
yeah. No, just hurry up, make me another one.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to. I was. I'm happy that Kirby's back because she was probably a character in part 4 because she was like the new Randy. But now we have Jasmine Savoy, one of the Meek twins, who's Randy's niece. So she's kind of the movie buff in there. So I can't wait to see them interact. I just want more of the character interactions because I don't think we had enough time with them in part 5. That Gale scene, like, oh man, as long as they don't do that Star Wars thing, what they did with the later sequels, where hey, we're making more Star Wars, and guess what? We're gonna kill your favorite character in each one. You
Oh,
know, like I hope they don't do that where they killed off Han and Luke and Leia, and it's like, dude, what the hell? You're just depressing us. I hope Gale survives. I know, yeah, this Ghostface is like, I'm different. I'm not
yeah,
like the other ones. But he says that in part 5 too. So I'm
yeah,
like, all right. But the fact that he was in the grocery store like shooting up the place, I was like, whoa, whoa.
yeah.
And so yeah, that's interesting. Um and yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for it. It has to be better than Jason Takes Manhattan Friday the 13th. Nothing can be as bad as that Jason movie.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm excited for that one. What else? The new Shazam. Did you see the Shazam trailer? The new one?
No, I haven't seen it.
That one was good. It came. I saw the. It just came out. I think like a day or two ago. It looks good. It looks a little more serious. The the trailer we saw before was a little bit more fun. They had like Eminem playing in the background, and
Yeah.
this one seems very magical, very like Percy Jackson or Lord of the Rings in Philadelphia. It looks like we're gonna see a lot of the kids this time around. It looks good. It looks good. It looks fun. There's this one shot that looks great where he's like throwing a freaking dragon into a building, Man of Steel style, and he's like, "Take that, Khaleesi," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in. I'm totally in. I'm total. Whether this survives in the new James Gunn like universe, I don't know. I hope so. I mean, Shazam has probably been. It's one of my favorite of those DC universe movies. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And then I think Alex just texted us. So I don't know if you want to send him the link right now. Can we take another break?
Let me see if I can just send him. I'm sending him one now. So he'll probably join as we're talking. But just real quick on Shazam, the first one, I think when I had first seen it or seen the trailers, I was like, that looks fun. It looks cool. And then watching it, it is a solid movie. I just rewatched it recently again, and I do like it. It's fun.
Hello.
And part two,
Oh,
hello.
it's Alex.
Yeah.
I was waiting on the phone call.
We're talking about.
What? Go ahead.
We're talking about the Shazam trailer for part two. And so the first trailer, it looks funny. The budget looks a little bit bigger, more action, but there's something that's holding me back from being like super excited about it, and I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's gonna be a good movie. I just there's just something that's like holding me back and being like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm super excited. Maybe it's because of that feeling that it might get rebooted and he won't survive, but it's just I don't know if you had that same feeling. Yeah.
Are you talking to me or Mundine?
To everyone.
Oh, I think I have that feeling of like. I mean, I like the first one. I think the first one was good, and yeah, this looks like just as much fun. I like the kids. I like Zachary Lee. Like I like everybody. I mean, I like the bad guys. I think one thing is, I think I'm also just burned out on superhero movies. Period. Like I think I don't care anymore. Like, oh, it's another superhero movie. Like Jesus, like it. Every 2 minutes we get a new superhero movie, and I'm just tired. I'm just absolutely tired of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
I think they were asking Feige about that, and he's like, I don't think people are getting tired of superhero movies. So Feige said, "You're not getting tired of superhero movies, okay, Alex? You're wrong."
well, maybe they should stop making superhero shows then, because man, a lot of those ones were stinkers.
Well, we had talked about we probably won't go into that much, but I was telling Betty that they just announced that these are the last seasons for Titans and Doom Patrol, and you watched Doom Patrol.
Did?
Yeah, so these are the final. These are the final seasons.
Well, that's depressing.
Well, just say you don't want any more superhero shows.
Well, yeah, but Doom Patrol is just like Titans. I could understand, but Doom Patrol is just written really well. Like, I mean, I think I told you I'm also kind of tired of Doom Patrol, but it's just written. It's just good television. Like, it's written very, very well. It's just a good show. Like, even it's not even like a real superhero because it's not like a let's always go and defeat the same person that's us, like we do in every Marvel movie. We're fighting the opposite version of us and stuff like that. It's just a good show about like different mental disorders that they all have, and
A dysfunctional family. Yeah,
it's good. It's a good time. Like they don't have to have powers, and it would still be a good show.
yeah. Well, Mark Shepard said or Crowley from Supernatural said that it was written as the final seasons, and I was telling Betty that James Gunn didn't cancel them. That he said that was already mandated before he took the DC job. So
Nah, James Gunn is just shooting everybody down, killing them
like,
all.
yeah, you want hope?
Beware
Bang.
from the
You want
gun.
hope? Bang.
Yeah.
But
What
but
was
we also
the?
talked a little. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what was the next trailer you had wanted to talk about? I'm trying to think what else I've seen trailers for, and
Scream.
Well,
what?
yeah, we were talking about Scream.
Oh,
You
Scream.
tell us.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I think I saw the first teaser trailer that they showed, and I was like, this looks like trash. I don't care. And then the beginning of the like the next or the beginning of the actual trailer when they show them like in the convenience store
Yeah,
and they're using a shotgun, I was like, that's awesome. That's great. I'm glad they're using like it's no longer a knife. Like they're gonna use whatever they can to kill people, and then they have like the reveal where they show like 6 other Ghostface costumes and stuff, and it's like, what the hell's going on? So I'm excited for it. One thing I'm tired of is there's never been a killer like me, and like, oh, and there's like, oh, this one doesn't feel like the other ones. They always say that. None of
yeah. I
them
was.
feel like the other ones, you know. But the fact that it might be like a cult is what has like I mean we've talked about it like what else can they do in a Scream movie? Well, the one thing for sure is like a cult of Screams. Instead of there being 2 or 1 killer, there's a bunch of killers. Like
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. So like the very few things that they haven't done yet is have a survivor, have one of the killers be a survivor, and the survivor like starts killing again in the future. Like they need one of those, and then they needed one of these where there's like a legion of killers. So yeah, I'm excited as hell for this. I hope that that's where they go with it. I hope it is a legion of them, and yeah, it looks good. If they kill off Gail Weathers, I think that's trash. I don't think she's gonna die, but the trailer's definitely making it look like that. But if they start killing off all the OGs just to kill them off, that's trash. But I'm excited as hell. It
I
seems
also
like
hope they don't kill Kirby. I just
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay
Save
with
well,
the
I
cheerleader, save the world. She already was
yeah
saved. She was already saved. Are you blind? Blitz all
yeah.
night.
that. Are
There
you
you go.
blind?
We needed one of those, Alex. We were waiting for it. I can't do it justice.
Yeah, that's what she needs to tell them. She
Yeah.
needs to learn from her dad, Will Patton, who didn't do anything in the last Halloween movie.
Oh God. Yeah. No, that movie sucked.
Or if you can
Um,
call it a Halloween movie. Haddonfield, the movie.
it was just had the love story or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think those are the trailers that I've seen. Um, me and Alex saw Megan um
Oh yeah,
last week.
but
It
you
was
can't look
good. I
forward to that. You can't look forward to it because it already came out.
It
Yeah.
already came out.
You could look
You're right. Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That movie was fun, man. I really liked that movie. I thought it was hilarious. Um, I was telling Alex that it was supposed to be rated R, but because it got so popular with that dance hallway scene, they're like, "Oh, kids want to see this movie, so we're gonna turn it into PG-13." And you can kind of tell where they made some of the cuts, um, because there it's PG-13 kills, like it's the blood splatter on the wall or whatever. Um, but it was fun. I was telling Natalie, I was like, "Oh, this is just it makes fun of you kids, which is hilarious." It talks about how often you guys are on the tablets and about the stupid toys that you're like, "Oh, I want that dancing thing because it poops out chocolate balls or something." Like
Mm.
so
But that's always
but
been around.
no, yeah, I mean it's a dig at consumerism, but I thought they did it in a fun way. Um and I told Alex, that girl from Get Out, Allison, I don't remember her last name.
Yeah, the girl
Her
from Girls,
the
Marnie.
girl from Girls. Yeah. I mean, I hated all the girls on Girls, but they were meant to be unlikable anyway. So it's like, um, but I'm like, oh, she's pretty though. But now ever since Alex told me, he's like, she looks like a girl
Oh
version
yeah.
of Henry Cavill. And I'm
Hmm.
like, God, and I'm like, I can't unsee that now.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
does. Sometimes she does. She's Henry Cavill.
yeah,
Yeah, Henri
Henrietta
Cavill.
Cavill. Yeah. So I don't know. What did you like the movie, Alex?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I think yeah, I just want to see the rated R version of it. I think it was a fun time. I say like Bettina, I don't know if I'd recommend it to you. I think you probably not like it. I don't think it's like it was fun. It was a fun watch, but
Yeah.
I think I also just wanted like I also wanted like a Child's Play movie. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna be the new Chucky. Like this is gonna be the new generation's Chucky. And Child's Play is just like a superior film in all ways.
Wait,
The
you talking about the remake or the
No,
original one?
not the Mark Hamill one. The original one, yeah, like the Brad Dourif one. Like it's just
Okay.
that movie's just fantastic. So I thought this one was gonna be like it would be slightly funny, but it just be like I thought it was just gonna be a really good horror movie or whatever. And it just I don't think that like another thing that I don't think there was a lot of kills, maybe, right?
No,
They
no,
took probably
there's
like
only
two
like
people.
three. There's three
Yeah.
kills.
And is it three full kills or is it like two human kills and then
Yeah,
another
you're just kind of half dead.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
so
they do that. They do the half dead thing because that's where you could tell that they did. You could tell two characters were supposed to die, and they're like, we kind of like these characters. We want them in the sequel, so we're gonna make them survive. So they like survive an explosion, and they're at the end of the movie just to be like, we're gonna come back for part two. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, I can see what you mean. It's not it, but the thing about Chucky, I think, is he's a guy inside a doll, whereas the remake one is kind of more of what this M3GAN was. Like she can go inside your Alexa. She can kind of get into the like your apps and your PlayStations and stuff, which the last Child's Play, the remake, basically did. Which I think would have been a better movie if it didn't call itself Child's Play, if it was its own thing. You know,
Yeah, I
like,
feel like those two are kind of like the same movie, I feel. Like I think even some of the jokes stayed the same where like when they were in their first building M3GAN, they're like, why does she have a creepy looking face and she
yeah,
has like half of her mouth open or something? They
yeah,
make that joke in Child's Play where it's like, all right, smile, now scowl, now pretend you're crying or taking a poop, and then Mark Hamill's like Chucky doll makes like the stupid like looking face, and
yeah.
it's funny. But like so I was like, I don't know. Again, I'd like to see the rated R version of it. Um, I think it was a fine movie. I guess what I also wanted was like imagine what's that terrible but finally ended up being okay type of movie with Haley Joel Osment as the AI? Is that what it's
Oh,
called?
but he loves that movie.
Um
Yeah.
like imagine AI but Haley Joel Osment is actually trying to kill people. Like I wanted that as a movie. And like that movie AI could totally go in that direction cuz doesn't he try to kill like the actual son like at the swimming pool party or something?
He's
And
not trying to, but it's because he gets like confused.
yeah, so I would like I think that like if you had him kill someone in there, that movie is a completely different movie. It's a horror movie of an AI like killing people. That's what I wanted this to be. I was like, man, that'd be an awesome movie. And it's just I don't think it ever goes that far. I think it's a very by the numbers type of horror film. Or like horror comedy film where it's like there's nothing surprising. You kind of know how it's gonna end. You know what's going to happen, and it's just like, eh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's true. I mean, because we kind of guessed the ending when we saw like what they were working on in the garage. Because I don't want to ruin it for Betty, but we're like, that thing better come out at the ending. And
Yeah.
obviously, it was the thing that saves, the. But some of the
Big.
characters are like,
Oh.
yeah, and and it was like the characters are kind of unlikable, all of them. But I think it's they're meant to be like that. And but the fact that yeah, you want like a crazy thing, and I think they can go crazy in part two, but it's gonna have to be like PG-13 crazy because I don't know if like in my head I see an army of like M3GAN robot dolls, like almost like what was that movie with Will Smith,
I
I
Robot.
Robot, like that. Like I can see that
I
happening.
Robot.
Yeah, I did not murder him.
Yeah. Do you want a McDonald's? I did not murder him.
Yeah, you're free
I
to go.
did
I
not
did not
slap
murder.
him either. Like, unlike you, Will Smith. Hey,
Oh, jeez, bringing it back. I'm going to. Okay,
I'm going.
I'm
I'm
going
going.
to.
I was
Mom.
listening to our.
Mom liked the movie. You know, Mom liked Megan a lot, and I agree. I think Megan's the best character in that movie, and she was rooting for the doll. She
Oh
was
yeah,
rooting for the doll to win.
yeah, we took mom, and she's like, pobrecita la muñeca, poor doll.
Yeah,
Like they didn't understand her.
yeah. The doll is just trying to do a good job. Like really, she's just trying to protect her human. So she's cool. I mean, if anything, yeah, I'm rooting for Megan for half of the movie, especially since she's titanium.
Oh,
Oh
she
yeah,
sings
she's
it.
always singing.
Yeah, she's always singing.
Oh, I
It's
gotta
great.
see it. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's whenever she sings, it's always a good time.
Yeah,
She's
it's good.
she's
It's a good
great.
movie. It's already on Vudu, I think. I think you can buy it already, but it's the regular PG-13 one. I don't know if they'll now. I don't know if they'll release the rated R one.
They'll probably
Um,
hear
Yeah,
Probably yeah.
so
It'll be
people
on.
double
I'm
dip.
sure it'll be on Peacock soon because it was a Universal movie. So
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
it'll be in Peacock in like a few months. But well, I don't know. Is there anything else you saw, Alex? Before we go into our main topic, we're gonna discuss all the upcoming movies. I have the list of like all the movies coming out this year, and we're just gonna do what we did last year, where we're like excited, not excited, or so on and so forth.
Main
uh,
topic. I thought this was the main topic.
yeah.
What was the main topic? I thought we're doing the movies that are coming out.
Yeah, Scream, and then I don't. Okay.
You want to do another? We can do this as a second episode.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 33 minutes right now. And then that other one was like 20 minutes too. It's been,
All
I
right.
mean, it's 11 right now. It's been
Well,
like
how
an
we
hour.
can well, why don't we break this up into two episodes then, and then we talk about what we've seen, and then we can just do another one about the upcoming movies.
Uh, well, do you want to keep going today or tomorrow?
Right now, since all of us are on,
Okay, so let me. Okay, so I guess this is the end of this episode, and
Thank you
yeah,
for joining us.
yeah,
We are all titanium.
you can't
I didn't even
sing
know that.
that.
I thought she was just singing that. That's an actual song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No, see, I don't know.
David Guetta featuring Sia.
I have no idea
yeah.
who
I'll
those people
see
are.
ya.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you next episode.
All right, enjoy.
Bye.
See ya.